The phrase sleeper cell has skyrocketed in the news recently as conflicts in the Middle East have escalated. It's a secretive-sounding phrase for a kind of undercover group, and you might have heard similar expressions like sleeper agent or sleeper spy. When the concept of sleeper cells gained a lot of attention following the September 11th attacks in the US in 2001, it was one part of a way of thinking that led to spikes in xenophobia and racism. So it's really important that we understand what it's actually referring to. Sleeper cells are different from what we might think of as regular spies, such as in a lot of James Bond films. Before we look specifically at sleeper cells, we need to understand the types of intelligence agents. In the US, there are two broad categories for people gathering intelligence: official and non-official. An official agent is one that enters the target country legally, in a role such as a foreign diplomat. These are intelligence agents that pose as embassy employees, for example. Being an official agent has advantages, like being able to be paid directly from the government employing them, having opportunities to connect directly with other foreign diplomats, and being in a useful position to receive information from anyone in the host country via their embassy position. And if they're found to be an intelligence agent, they'll just get kicked out of the country. On the downside, due to their official capacity, foreign diplomats and people of political and social status may be wary of sharing information with these official types because of the direct link between the foreign government and the potential agent. The other type of intelligence agent, the type that sleeper agents fall into, is a non-official agent. These are intelligence gatherers that enter the country posing as an immigrant or as a visitor to the country. The pros and cons of this type of agent are basically the opposite of those of the official agent. A non-official agent has to, in many cases, establish their own life in the target country and build a story for themselves. This can be extremely time-consuming and expensive. In some cases, they're responsible for getting their own documentation that's official. They don't have immediate access to diplomats or conversations with people who have important knowledge. If caught, they can be jailed or worse. It can also be harder for them to maintain regular contact with the foreign government they work for. The upside, however, is because their job is to look like regular people in the target country, they might be able to gain information from certain sources more easily than a person in an official diplomatic position. Sleeper agents, or sleeper cells, fall into the second category of non-official intelligence gatherers. The sleeper in sleeper cell comes from the fact that this person or group is largely dormant or not active. While they're waiting for the right time to conduct their mission, they go about their regular lives and routines in the place where they're based. Their job is to look and act like a totally normal person living a totally normal life. They may not even engage in any kind of intelligence activities at all while waiting to be activated, so there's nothing for them to be caught doing. They work their way into positions and relationships where they can gather information, build connections, and gain status in the host country. A single person acting would be called a sleeper agent or a sleeper spy. A group or team of these agents is called a sleeper cell. And not all sleeper cells or sleeper agents may participate in a mission or project. They might just be potential assets for a country to use. Sleeper cells and sleeper agents wait for a particular predetermined signal, instruction, or situation before acting on their mission. In some cases, these periods of dormancy can be extremely long, with some agents waiting undercover for years to conduct their mission. It's important to distinguish the real-world approaches to sleeper agents from the kinds of things we might see in the movies and in TV, where people are literally asleep for a long time and then they wake up with crazy spy skills, or where people are brainwashed somehow and suddenly can do amazing martial arts. I mean, as cool as it would be to wake up and one day be like a kung fu master, that's not really what's being talked about here. There are fascinating stories of undercover non-official agents throughout history, such as a German citizen who spied for the Soviets by posing as a journalist and making connections at the German embassy in Tokyo during the 1930s. Or a KGB agent who entered the US via Canada and gradually built a life for himself, beginning with nothing but a fake birth certificate. While these couple of stories aren't examples of sleeper agents, they are examples of how non-official operatives can work in any country. In some cases, the sleeper agents might not even know what they need to do until the time comes and they receive instructions. Because of the secretive, covert nature of this type of work, one of the unfortunate knee-jerk reactions we've seen in response to news reports of sleeper cells is heightened racism and fear of people from other countries and cultures. It's important to remember in times of cross-cultural tension that most people really are just normal people living their lives. So now you know what sleeper cells actually are, and while they may not be quite as interesting as the kinds of things we see in the movies, they are a very interesting part of global diplomacy, or lack thereof. If this video helped you understand the concepts, give it a like because it really does help the channel. See you next time!